driving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. I'm just doing a little bit of sharing. Be one more share. One more share. Just one more share. All right. Good morning, Ingrid. I'm gonna run and get my water real quick. This time I was early, so there. It's funny because I was thinking of this exact topic for today. Keeping it simple. I got a little bit of history on it so we can find out what it's about, where it came from. Sorry. Where am I at? So this is out of Alcoholic Comes of Age. And this is a pretty interesting little story. I'll get started here about 30 more seconds. So today is, I don't know. No, let's not do that right now. Let's not fuck with DM. That's a good idea. That's the kind of mood I'm in this morning. 3 minutes. All right, let's get started. Welcome to Zazen Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'll be your host. Yep, I'll be your host. Please say hello whether you're watching live or the rewatch. So, good stuff. I don't know what noon meeting you go to, but I go to a different noon meeting on Sunday if you ever want it. It's called Vitality. It's over here. It's a pretty cool group. Not quite the same, but if you ever want to check it out, just let me know. Yeah, why don't we start with the reading? Let's go there. So I pulled this up on the internet also. So let's just go ahead and get started. This first happened in the summer of 1950. Dr. Bob was dying of colon cancer. Alcoholics Anonymous was hosting its first ever international conference in Cleveland, Ohio. Just an hour's drive from Dr. Bob's home in Akron. Many thought he was too sick to speak at the event. In his speech, which lasted mere moments, he explained how he could not miss the first convention, and he shared on a slogan on which this story is based. There are 2-3 things that flashed into my mind on which it would be fitting to lay on emphasis, he said to a hushed crowd. One is the simplicity of our program. Let's not louse it up with Freudian complexes and things that are interesting to the scientific mind, but have very little to do with our actual AA work, he said. Our 12 steps, when simmered down to the last, resolve themselves in the words love and service. We understand what love is and we understand what service is. So let's bear those 2 things in mind. I think it's very important that we listen to that portion. Right? AA is different. We are different. The program is simple for a reason. Okay? And this kind of has to do with reading outside literature, bringing other outside literature into the program, and things like that. Okay? My home group, we allow outside literature. Okay? And what had happened is, see, this is what starts to happen. She was only supposed to be on Saturdays. That was it. That's it. There was no other day that you were allowed. And now it's kind of creeped into that because we've forgotten. Okay. And we have to remember that this is a simple program. A simple program. The moment it starts becoming confusing, we are doing something wrong. The moment that we have to bring Freud or anything else into it, we are doing it incorrectly. It is a simple program, and it is a simple program for a reason. Okay? Because of this. Because of that little jelly thing sitting between your ears. That's why. Remember, we were born constitutionally incapable of being honest. Constitutionally incapable. We're not going this way. That's right. Good choice, Kitty. they know not to mess with Dad on certain days. They'll do it anyway. Prove me wrong. All right, let's get back to this reading. Dr. Bob was succumbed to the illness less than 4 months after that talk on November 16th, 1950. The second moment of clarity as far as Keep It Simple goes happened when Bill Wilson and the other co-founders got a final close-up and personal sense of Dr. Bob's energy a few weeks later when he went up to Akron to see his old friend. Wilson was forever struck by the vision of his peer dying. In Alcoholics Anonymous Comes of Age, written in 1957, Bill Wilson recalled his final meeting with Dr. Bob, when he and the doctor agreed that the annual conference featured sober AA delegates from around the world was the way to lead the fellowship into the future. A few hours later, I took leave of Dr. Bob, knowing that the following week he was to undergo a very serious operation. He writes on page 214, neither of us dared say what was in our hearts. We both knew this might well be the last decision we would ever make together. I went down the steps and turned to look back. Bob stood in the doorway, tall and upright as ever. Some color had come back into his cheeks, and he was carefully dressed in a light gray suit. This was my partner, the man with whom I never had a hard word. Sorry, this is kind of hard to read. The wonderful old broad smile was on his face as he was almost jokingly, remember, Bill, let's not louse this thing up. Let's keep it simple. I turned away, unable to say a word. That was the last time I ever saw him. Wow. Man, that's a pretty moving story on Keep It Simple. Hopefully it drives home how important it is. How important your daily living, your sobriety, and everything that you do, how it needs simplicity in it. Okay? And what we were doing is we were making our problems right-sized by doing that. Okay? So, and Ingrid, it's cats. There's 2 of them that you think it's the same one, and it's not. I've got 2 that look exactly alike. And then I got a third one that's kind of white. So I actually have, you usually see 2 of them. So that, yeah. Ooh, they're sneaky, huh? I'll grab them and introduce them one day. A lot of times they call when I yell for them, unless they're hiding. Or they won't do it when I say that they'll do it for me. Right? So, all right. After years of sobriety, I occasionally ask myself, can it be this simple? I ask myself that sometimes too. It's like, I thought there would be like this more grandiose kind of thing at the end, and there's just not. No, there's just life. There's just life, which is enough. Trust me, it's enough to keep you striving for as long as you live. Okay. I'm going to reiterate what is the big book? I call the big book the Bible for dummies. We're too fucking smart to understand it. Okay. We can't wrap our brains around the big book without somebody else coming along and say, well, you're looking at it totally wrong. You got to look at it this way. Oh, well, I didn't think of that. Of course you didn't think that. You were naturally incapable of thinking that way. It's never going to pop into your head, ever, until somebody else comes along and explains it to you. Then at meetings, I see former cynics and skeptics who have walked the AA path out of hell by packing their lives without alcohol into 24-hour segments. So 24-hour segments. What does keep it simple have to do with one day at a time? Besides everything. It has everything to do with it. Living your life one day at a time is an example of keeping it simple. Right? Sometimes there's decisions that have to be made, but sometimes those decisions can't be made for a little bit. Maybe something has happened and you need to put some delayed gratification into your life because you don't want to write your daughter back who's being a fucking bitch. Sorry. A little upset with my daughter at the moment. And we need to take time sometimes to think about what it is, about what's really going on with us, right? So all these things fit together. If you think how come every time you go to a meeting it's the topic you need? How can it be the topic that every single person in the meeting needs? By keeping it simple. Okay? Because when you live a simple life, you get the benefits of an open mind. And when you have an open mind, you can go to a meeting and see where people are correct. See, remember in the beginning, we told you, listen for the similarities, not the differences. We were teaching you from the very beginning to listen to the things that you need. Okay? The other thing that we were doing was letting you know those are the people you want to go after. Because it's not for us to say, that person has a good program, that person has yeah, you might want to try. No, that's not for us to say. And that's why I believe that sponsors should pick sponsees. During which they practice a few principles to the best of their individual abilities. And then I know, again, that while it isn't always easy, if I keep it simple, it works. Why do people combine simple and easy? They're two different words. They're two different things. They're two totally different things. Oh, because we did simple and easy. Because I'll tell you why. Commercials. They've been calling things that forever. See, it's stuck in your head. Stuck in your head. You thought subliminal messages didn't work on you. Of course they did. There's a reason why you continue saying certain things and it's all because of commercials and the type of stuff that we watch. So keeping it simple has its advantages for everything that you do. Oh, I don't, you know what? I think, hey, that's the one you usually see. That's Ronan. He was the runt. He was the one that I picked. So I had another kitty cat. His name was Wade because I didn't want to yell the word Deadpool. And he was the coolest cat in the whole world. And somebody stole him. I know somebody stole him. I think I know who. But I don't have proof. Anyway, so I ended up getting my daughter had some kittens over at her house, so I went over there. Different daughter, not the one I'm mad at, my stepdaughter. And I went over there and I picked out a cat. This one right here. You can see why. Good at picking out cats. Yeah. Call Empire today. 1-800 cars for kids. We could go on and on and on. I'll remember. Oh, so anyway, while I was there was a oh, he's so cute, and I'm sorry, I mean to get that song stuck in your head. I will not go on to Baby Shark then. How about bird, bird, bird? Bird is a word. Another bird, bird, bird. There you go. Now you got different songs stuck in your head. My grandkids talked me into taking this other cat, right? He's nothing like this other cat, but there's no way. No, I couldn't imagine my life without any of them, actually, at this point. They've all got their place in my life, but it requires a lot of love, because I feel like if you're going to own animals, that they should have a good life, man. And I spoil the fuck out of my cats. I let them tear up furniture. I'm not going to declaw them. Fuck that. Nope. I used to believe in that until my other daughter, my third daughter, my stepdaughter, my other stepdaughter, sat me down and explained it to me, and I'm like, I will never, ever, ever do that again. I'm so sorry I ever did. Mm-mm. All right, that's gonna be it. Let's keep things simple. It can be hard to do, but if you focus on it, if you remind yourself to keep things simple, they do not need to be bigger than. Okay. We don't need to do that anymore. You do the same. Yeah. I love stories. And um now we know where the story came from. And it's a very emotional story. It came from Dr. Bob's deathbed. I think we should be listening. I think we should be listening. See, anything that carries depth and weight, we listen to. That's why I put that story in there. It made this whole thing different. And that's what we kind of do. But it was still simple. It was still simple. Different, simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. I love you guys. Peace out and have a day. Bye bye.